There are strange things out there that seem to have no explanation. Sometimes they are conjured up by the darkest corners of our subconscious, but on occasion they dwell beyond the confines of our imagination. They may come from another realm, or out of the sky, or from beyond the grave. Once they set foot into our world, the line between dreams and reality becomes unclear. It's our job to investigate these reports and compile the Virginia Paranormal Case Files. Appomattox, Virginia is known for the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse, one of the final battles of the Civil War. It was here that the Union Army suffered 164 casualties, while the Confederate Army lost 195 men, 305 were wounded, and 28,356 surrendered. It's no wonder that the land in Appomattox still holds a lot of energy, as apparitions linger and gunshots echo through the night from a distant time. In the summer of 2023, a team from Virginia Paranormal Investigations was called out to a private residence near the battlefield. At the time, there were reports of apparitions and some other paranormal activity. The team witnessed disembodied voices and heard a large caliber gun. Now the activity has increased, and it seems that a dark entity has made his presence known. On November 2nd, 2024, members of Virginia Paranormal Investigations returned to search for answers.
We're out here in Appomattox. It's a lady and a gentleman that lives with her, experiencing some interesting things. The guys seem like he's kind of afraid of what's going on because he's been physically marked. It seems like it's messing with him. And the lady that owns the house, she's said that she's pretty much kind of like oblivious to it, and he's the one that's always pointing things out. The house hasn't actually broken ground because it's one of those manufactured houses. So it's very possible that we could be standing right on top of like a mass burial from the Civil War, and we don't even know it because this house has never been breaking ground before. But yeah, it's just some interesting stuff that they're a little concerned about because the gentleman's being marked, and he seems like he's getting messed with, and he's gotten so much to the point where he's saying like, I'm thinking about calling a priest. He said it's like brought him tears anytime he thinks about it. He's seeing something staring at him with like bright red eyes, things looking around the corner, peeking around at him. Her grandkids have said that they're seeing stuff and being talked to. So there's some interesting activity going on. So yeah, we're just gonna see what we can do, see if we can find anything for him, and hopefully get him some answers.
So why would that be happening? Did you switch places with them?
Yeah, we did. Go ahead.
And yours doesn't get anything in there, even close to that shirt there?
Mine.
Yeah, nothing. I was literally about to comment that.
And he had me turn it off and turn it back on too.
Usually in these kinds of houses, these are the ones that might have some faulty electrical, so they give off higher readings. But I've gotten nothing. Like this
thing's been going like it hits like 13.
This house is grounded pretty well.
Yeah. So what in the world's going on over here?
I have no idea. And then if I
Hold on, what do you have it on? Mag?
That's what he told me to put it on.
Yeah, that's right. Alright. I think we need a third opinion. So we're gonna have to we gotta get like a K2 meter or something to maybe bring it in here and just see if there's anything.
Here, trade me. Just out
but
of
still, this
curiosity.
isn't going crazy all over the place.
No, it's just that one. And then I noticed when we were in the other room, I was eyeballing yours and watching mine, and they were on the same numbers. So it's not like it's... So in the other room, I noticed we had the same number. So it's interesting that over here, now ours are reading completely different.
Right.
So there's definitely... See, it's still, his isn't going quite... Oh, it went up a little. I got it. But it's still not...
And I took the battery out and...
Yeah, it's still not the same. That thing is still going.
I don't know if this thing's just bugging out.
I don't know.
But why would it just bug out in that one area? You know, I can't
But
explain
like holding
that.
it right here, it's just sitting at like a point 1.3, just fine on this thing.
Are they reading
Are
around
we,
the
I was
same?
gonna see if we were.
Yeah, they're reading
Yeah,
like
pretty-
within a few of each other.
I'm just following you just for the sake of numbers.
Yeah, I mean we're only a difference of like
0.8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at 15.2. You're at 15 or 14.5.
Yeah. All right.
So it's just interesting that these are reading the same throughout,
The same brand.
except for in one spot.
Yeah, we're consistent now.
I said that when we were in the other room too. I noticed
Yeah.
we were the same because I was glancing at yours.
So, I mean, we can try swapping batteries
Do you want to do that to
Sure.
see for the
Turn 'em
sake of?
and then swap out the battery.
I'll get anything when you compared those two with the battery switched?
Mine's still going nuts.
Still the
His
same.
is fine.
Still
Yeah.
the same. There's another power box over here.
Yeah, there's one right there.
But then everywhere else we did this, it was
All the same.
all the same readings except certain spots, and it was back to your husband's
Yeah.
urn. It went up again, and then the lawn in your closet, your clothes rack. Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
It's acting as it should on the power box.
Yeah.
So, room is giving off high EMFs, and then it's lower on this side, but it's still spiking.
Yeah.
But unless the power runs up and above and back down, but we haven't gotten spikes on any of the other walls. So
There is some outlets on that wall.
Yeah.
So there are some outlets on that wall, and a light switch.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
What about the ceiling? Does the ceiling do it? I'm too short.
the
You
ceiling
do it.
is at like a 1.9,
So it wouldn't go up.
but the lower it goes, the higher it gets.
Could they go under instead of up? But that
well,
thing,
we can
you know what I mean?
tell here. Let's see.
But this outlet's one.
Yeah. So it's a box, and the cord comes out the bottom of it.
Okay.
So it'll come down.
Okay.
I can't speak for that plug there though.
That's at a 1.2. And that's at a 2.0. So, okay. So this whole room is giving off just a consistent 2.5 to a 3.0. There's like a little Wi-Fi box down here that's giving off like a 17 to a 25, but that's staying down there. Once you get like a foot in front of it, it backs down significantly. But this whole room is just at a constant 2.5. And every once in a while it goes up to a 3.0. So it's consistent in here.
So there's the shed that last time we were out here we heard something coming from there. It sounded like someone listening to the radio in there. Like it was some kind of talking, like a newscast or maybe like some kind of narration. But there's nothing in that shed when we looked. And then also back towards the back here is where we heard that large caliber gun.
That's not unusual. I've had other people that lived in here that would hear like the cannon.
But you see how these fence posts are higher than the fence here? He was talking about seeing someone walking along with their hand on the top of the fence, and their hand would go right through the fence post. They wouldn't like have to raise up their hand or take it away and around it. It would just go right through. So you guys were in the house, and the client was talking about someone close to her that had passed away. And there were some things that I didn't notice that you two picked up on. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so the client, she was talking about somebody that was close to her that had passed away. And as she started talking about it, we noticed that the tri-field started spiking. And certain words and phrases that she used, every time she would say it, it would spike like really, really high. And then the mood in the house, or the feeling in the house, it sank. Like that feeling of when you're sad about something and you kind of have to like swallow your heart. It felt like that, just really, really heavy. And then as soon as she stopped talking about it and moved on, the tri-field meter, the EMF meter, just dropped back down to 0, just back to a regular reading. It was like she started talking about it, snap, it went up. As soon as she stopped talking about it, it just dropped back down to 0. But the thing that can kind of be like, I shouldn't say an issue, but a warning with this is that a lot of times if you are dealing with something negative that wants to manipulate you, it will pretend to be that person that you are missing. And sometimes if you try to open communication and try to talk to that person, that could be an invitation to something negative. It can come in and it can say, I'm going to pretend to be this person so that I could weaken them and just try to mess with them and try to like get through with them. So whether or not that is the person actually here or something else, we don't really know until we try to find out. But both the people that live in this house are convinced that it is this person. They both said that we feel that they're here and they are trying to help us. But you don't really know until you start prying. But it is, the feeling it just sank. It just got really, really heavy. And then we stepped outside, it kind of lightened up a little bit, but it's just as soon as she stopped talking about it, the readings just went back to normal.
That's crazy. You had that same feeling.
Yeah, I did. I was holding it, and we were looking at it together, and we both just felt it simultaneously and just kind of looked at each other, because it was definitely a heavy feeling.
We're just going to verify with the third EMF detector here what this says. So the other one's still reading high. Right?
No, not really. Not as high. Yeah, there it goes.
That's weird. So it's only that one.
Yep.
Whoa, that went up to like 35 just now.
We're going to see if we can run a little bit of communication. We have 2 REM pods, one down here and one over here, along with 3 tri-fields or EMF meters, again over here, kind of right in the middle, to see if we can maybe gain some communication and have whoever we're speaking with kind of come through and use these devices to interact and maybe see if we can get some responses, and try to figure out, or at least start to figure out what's going on. So.
All right. I'm Jeff.
Matt.
Candace.
Shelley?
And we'd like to know, the reason we're here is because we're trying to find out if, what did he like to be called?
Bob.
Bob. We're trying to find out if Bob has a message that he'd like to get across. We have these devices set up with the lights on them that could perhaps detect Bob if he's here. The red lights, if anyone goes near those, they'll light up, make a pitch, let us know that you're here as well. Did you hear something back there?
It just felt like there was something. That's why I was a little uncomfortable.
If anyone is here with us, we'd love it if you could join us. Come walk up with us, have a seat with us. None of the stuff that we have here is going to hurt you or scare you. It's just here that we can communicate with you. The devices with the metal sticks coming out of them, again, they just make noise and they light up and you go near them. We've heard that whoever you are, you've been seen around here. If that's you that they're seeing here, could you light up one of the devices, please? or make a noise. So we're asking questions, and all of a sudden, I hear some noise that the best way I could describe it is almost kind of like, or like something was doing something to like tap or scratch,
like a rustling type.
And I look over, and then Jeff pans over in like this direction, and he ended the recording, and I'm like, you heard that? Like, you heard something? It's like, yeah. So, I don't know, it came from this corner direction, but it sounded like something either tapped or like scratched something.
And my first thought was this tree here. I thought it was something maybe moving the tree, and it was brushing on the wall, but the only branch that's really touching the wall is like really jammed in there. Like, that's not really gonna move. Unless the tree... No, see, that's more of a tapping sound. It sounded like you said, like rustling, like.
What about this?
Could it have been my feet are on this? Could it have
That's possible, but it sounded to me more like leaves.
been like this, or could it have been my foot?
Hold on, let me sit down and.
I don't remember doing that,
You put it
but I'm
down.
just like trying to
Yeah,
recreate.
just roll it out. Go ahead, do that again. I'll sit here. No, it wasn't that loud.
And it was in this. It was behind
I
me.
said I don't remember doing
Yeah.
it, but just in case it was a subconscious.
I feel like it was over here towards this corner or on the other side of that wall. Is there anything on the other side of that wall that can? No.
There is no tree or nothing touching this house.
Yeah, see, it's not like that noise there is too much of like a scratching noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no luck on pinpointing that sound.
Couldn't debunk it or figure out what it was, where it was coming from. If that was you that we heard just make that sound, could you please do it again?
Last time you were here, there was one woman that kept saying her name and said, "I'm not leaving." And then supposedly a soldier. And back there was a lot of different names that was coming through back by the back door.
We could try the spirit box.
Yeah.
Wanna try that?
Yeah.
All right, we got the spirit box rolling here. And we're hoping that this might make it a little easier for someone to talk to us. We're here to hear your message. And if there's anything you want to get across to us, to Shelly, any way that we can help you or...
Is there anything that we could do to help you?
Can you tell us why you're here?
Are you related to the people that live here? Or are you related to the land?
Mary, do you happen to be here? You used to live here. If so, say something to us. Are you somebody that's attached to Ron, or that knows Ron?
Why are you attached to Ron? you have a reason? Why won't you tell us your name?
What did that sound like to you?
I couldn't quite make it out.
Yes.
I heard act. Yeah, something act.
Did you scratch someone? Why did you scratch Ron?
Darn? Or Ron?
Did I just say darn or Ron?
Yeah, Darn or Ron. Something.
Can you see us right now?
There you are.
Yeah, I heard you are.
How many are in this house right now?
Do you like to go into my room? And, well, go down the hallway and go to the bathroom in my room.
Are you going to the bathroom in her room? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I figured that after a second.
Who's going to the bathroom in her room?
Me?
I heard that too.
That thing just bumped up to a 6. I'm not sure I don't think I was thinking it was too far to get it, but even a 4 is significant.
Yeah.
They've been doing that.
I know. Yeah, the highest I think I've seen it go was 4 until that 6. No, you can see it at the top there. See the peak number? It says, what's it say? 7.9 now?
Yeah.
13.8 is the peak. So it's peaking pretty high. What we're seeing here, and hopefully it'll work now, is we're seeing every time a certain question is asked for something to try to happen, it seems like we got a significant spike here. So let's try
Will you tap something? That's, no, that's.
12.4 is what it peaked at when she asked that.
How about walking steps down the hallway? Or through
12.4
here?
again.
It seems like when she speaks, that goes up.
Could you make a knocking sound for us, please?
If I mention names of those that have passed, will you spike when I say your name? Bob, Bernadette, my mom, Joe, Kathy,
Try asking them to do something again. It seems like when you ask it to do something, it does it.
make the steps that you usually make. I know we hear those.
Now it's staying down.
Do
I
you-
don't know. I thought I was going to put something together
Yeah.
there.
Do you like my room?
We had a brief 12.3, but it was before you got that question out. So my initial thought was when you're asking this to do something, when you're asking whoever's here to do something, it's trying to muster up the power to do that. And that's why we're getting these spikes.
Okay.
But they're not correlating now. And that last one, look, 13. Like that's just random.
But is it trying to still, or like agree with her, like trying to do what she was saying earlier, maybe still, or I don't know.
So we're sitting here, and of course the camera wasn't on. Talking about what to do next, and
Tap it to see if there's like if it is an animal, it'll do it again.
I'm gonna go around outside real quick.
Okay. You would. Maybe you shouldn't go.
Yeah, if Jeff wants to come with me.
Maybe you should
You
go.
guys
Go
stay
alone.
here,
Okay.
because we could probably hear you from this window.
Okay.
So we'll see if we can recreate whatever that is.
yeah, let's see if we can figure out there.
That was. Yeah.
That was
My
like-
back was too flat.
So that's right here.
Yeah, is there anything?
Nothing here.
What about between the roof? Can you see between the roof there? Is there anything that would be in there?
No, there's all foam insulation up there.
What no animals hiding in the. You see? Let's go. Come over to this one right here, just a little bit, right there. No.
Yeah. Standing up on this hill a little bit, there's nothing.
That's weird.
Sounds like leaves.
It does. What about any way for something to get into the house here? Wait a second. Does that sound like it?
Nope. Nothing even on the boat. This is banging on stuff. This is like plastic bags in a wall.
Well, what about?
We don't even hear anything.
I'm at a loss.
Is there an attic?
Crawl space, you know. Instead of crawl space, you know, not really a big space.
I mean, the only thing I could think is to like look up into the attic
Right.
and see if there's any signs that,
There might be an animal up there.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an attic.
any droppings or anything like that that would indicate something might be climbing through the walls.
Is there a spot where a little critter could have got in?
You know, I'm not sure. Like, there's. It could have gotten in through the insulation, I guess, if it climbed up over it or something, or found a space. The chimney's blocked off.
Tap on the wall to see if I can get it to do it again.
Could have always gone on through under the house somehow, maybe. Not here, but if there's another way under the house. Those things are pretty crafty. That's what it sounded like, only in the wall, you
We
know?
wouldn't be able to hear that though.
No. No chance.
Because I was thinking like, oh, maybe there's a tree right here that we just can't see.
So I was outside getting the stethoscope so I can listen to the walls. And
I had asked if it could make that noise again, and then all of a sudden, that tri-field hit like a 24.5, and then we both just heard something go like that in that direction, in that hallway.
that's weird. That thing's pretty high too, right there. Is that going up to like
It's doing its own thing for sure.
11? Whoa,
what-
46?
Yeah.
What in the world?
I'll ask again. Can you
19.
please make that sound? Can you make that sound again?
You like the hallway. Make that noise in the hallway again.
55.1. It is something's happening here.
Yeah, what it is ain't exactly clear.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the wall with the stethoscope here, and we could definitely hear something kind of crawling around in there. And then I guess it got so audible that y'all could hear it out here. Right, got quiet again. Matt gave it a listen, and we hear something moving in there. So you know, we could say that part isn't paranormal. We can't explain the spiking that was on this and the sound that you all heard down the hallway. I mean, do you want to take a walk down there and see if there's anything that...
Yeah.
Let's just take a look and see if there's anything that would possibly make that sound. Could it have been something like a refrigerator type sound?
No, it had almost like a vocal tone to it. I wonder.
And all this time, people laughed at me for bringing that stethoscope. I'd walk into places and, oh, what are you, a doctor? I was like, no, I'm going to listen to the walls. They look at me like I was crazy.
You can kind of hear it coming through over here too.
Can you?
Yeah.
Just the scratching type sound.
Mhm.
But nothing, I mean, nothing that would let out that gas.
No, that was definitely that was more of a human gasp, I should say. Like you heard it.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it. Dog didn't react to it.
Yeah, it was definitely like, to me, it almost sounded like, have you ever heard like the wind howl almost too? It's like that deep, like,
Yeah.
but it was like he said, more gaspy, like it was like, but it was like that, like, howl sound.
Right.
But it was
right.
quick.
Yeah, like kind of like on, like the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, like the Ben Crosby one where he's going through the woods and here's the wind howling through the...
Yeah, maybe.
Nice.
See that, Matt?
Yep.
Okay.
There we go. Got the EMF detector in place. We got the REM pod out there in the hallway. And we're basically going to do a burst EVP session here. This is the area where that noise sounded like it was coming from, that vocal noise.
He heard that also from the living room.
So it was pretty loud. Wow.
All right, this is Matt.
Jeff?
Candace?
Shelley?
And aside from the four of us, we want to know who else is here. Could you please tell us your name?
Are you messing with the people who live in this house? So we ran a burst EVP session. Didn't hear anything. We heard the AC kick on, but it didn't sound like that gasp that we heard earlier. Nothing came through on the EVP. I don't know. Just nothing came through. I had a feeling that maybe we could hear something, but we didn't.
Alright, so Matt came up with this idea, and Matt, you kind of want to elaborate on that there?
So we're going to take the spirit box and some headphones, but we're going to split up. I'm going to go back there in one of the rooms where the report, like hearing and seeing stuff, and listen, and they're going to ask questions in here that I won't be able to hear, and I'm just going to repeat what I say and see if anything that I say correlates to what they're saying in here. A lot of times when this experiment is done, people will say, oh, well, you can just hear them through the headphones. That's why I like to do it kind of separated, to kind of show like, no, I really can't. So we're going to try that, see if anything that I might hear or say correlates to the questions that they're asking in a separate room. So we're going to give that a shot and see if anything happens to come through there.
Alright, so we are rolling.
Okay. Who is in this house with us? Who likes to walk the hall and walk into my room and the bathroom? And why? Why do you want to walk through the house and make sure that we hear you? Is there a connection between
I'm
you?
here.
Ron? The last time they were here, there was a woman that said her name 4 times and said that she was not leaving. Lorraine or Loretta.
Left?
Lorraine?
No, he said left.
Huh?
He said left. And you said that the woman said she wasn't going anywhere, and then he said left. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Will you please talk to us? Tell us who you are. Or why you...
Father? Did you catch that?
What did he say?
Father.
Oh!
And that's interesting because you said tell us who you are, right?
Yeah.
So I'm under this, and I started getting this feeling of like I'm falling forward. And I felt like I had to catch myself, like kind of doing one of those things where you almost like you're falling asleep and you're doing this and then you catch yourself.
Do you
But
want
Jeff said
to
I
get
didn't move.
my attention? And I'm
So I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird feeling, and I had to like kind of shake it off a little bit. But it felt like I was falling forward a little bit, and I had to kind of catch myself. I don't know if anything I've been saying has been relevant to what they've been asking. But that was just a weird feeling that kind of just came over me slightly, and I had to shake it off and take these off for a second. Has anything been relevant, like, at all?
There was one incident that was, they had asked about this girl who last time said she wasn't going anywhere, and then right after that you said left.
Okay.
So that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else that was definitely relevant. There was something that came through about a dad, so they were asking if it was his dad, and then there didn't seem to be any response to that.
I heard, well, I know one of the things I heard was like throat and help.
Yes.
I don't know if that had anything to do with anything.
Yep, I heard that, and it didn't seem to correlate with the question they were asking though.
Okay.
But
You know, that was
I imagine that could be something related to battle.
right. And that was a bizarre feeling. Like that again, like that feeling like you're falling asleep and your head kind of gets heavy and you like have to catch it and you jerk up real quick.
Right.
But again, you said I didn't move, but it felt like I did. I don't know. That was weird. That's why I had to pull myself out.
I thought it was interesting. We said something about the dad, and I'm not gonna quote myself because I don't remember the exact phrase that we used, but then when you were talking about like the throat and like help, it made me wonder, is there like something with the dad? But that was like right after, so that was interesting. Did you guys have any experiences back there?
It was strange. Like, so the best way I could describe it is like that feeling when you're really tired and you're like, your head starts to feel heavy and you're kind of doing this and you got to do this real quick. I felt like I started to do that and I felt like I had jerked up. But Jeff said I didn't move. So I'm sitting there like this and it felt like I was starting to fall forward and I like felt like I had to pick myself up. But
You didn't move a muscle.
no, Jeff said I was sitting perfectly still, like I wasn't moving, and I was opening my eyes periodically to see if he was like still there. But I don't know. It felt like I moved, but he said I didn't. So,
That's interesting.
and then I had to pull the headphones off to make sure I wasn't like falling forward. And then there was a one point in my right ear, like through the static, I thought I heard like, I don't know, like paper crumpling or like water bubbling. Definitely like a sound that did not sound normal for a spirit box.
What do you need help from?
Wasn't me saying help, it was the voice on here saying help.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was asking. Why do you need help?
Help. The man's voice that time. First time was a girl's voice.
Is it your father?
You.
Me.
Help. Help.
What do you need help with? Are you stuck here?
She says she heard someone yelling that before.
The other voice that I heard when I remember I said
Me.
somebody said my name
Another whistle. Every time I can't whistle, but it's like a...
There was a
Is someone
woman.
calling you?
There was a woman that said, "Help me, please."
Yep.
And then another
What is
time
their
said,
name?
"Help me." Can you tell me your name? What do you need?
That...
What is that?
You.
Ran the spirit box a couple times, used some headphones while we sat in other rooms and asked questions. First round was all right. We had a few responses. Second round, though, Jeff went under, and that's when we started to get some pretty peculiar answers, however you pronounce that. But it started slow, but then we started talking about the woods, and we constantly were hearing help me, you. And when we started talking about the woods, we started to get responses like, tell them, or truth, it's the truth, or stop it. And Jeff ended up saying it was like two people kind of going back and forth. And then there's something about like a sheriff, and then there was like take cover, fire. So just a lot of stuff that was kind of pointing towards going to the woods. Because every time we would ask if we should go to the woods, it would like try to divert the conversation. So we're going to go to the woods now, and put down a REM pod, use the spirit box, see maybe if there's something going on in the woods. The folks that live here, they get really bad feelings around the woods. They don't like the woods. They don't like going near the woods. So we're going to see if there's something out there. See maybe if the woods are holding something that's hiding something in there. So we're going to find out.
Kind of go back. I think it's a little too cold for snakes. It's like 40 degrees out here.
Sorry.
So what do you think? You want to try around here?
Sure.
It's 45 degrees. We got the REM pod set up over there.
We're in the woods now. And it sounded like you didn't want us to be back here. That's true. Make the red light change colors or make noise. We'll keep going deeper into the woods or farther back to get answers. Woods, nothing out of the ordinary. A lot of bugs.
Almost sounds like something's rustling
Yeah.
behind you.
Behind me.
Yeah.
Turn around here.
Back that way, yeah.
Just kind of see what's going on.
Is there something in the woods here that doesn't want us here? Touch that red light if you don't want us here.
This seemed like regular woods. I did notice some of the trees looked younger, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But aside from that, just a lot of really interesting bugs. I think that was about that.
So that could have been
most
like
of it.
open land during the battles, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, and it almost looked like I noticed some of the deeper into the woods. There was like some plants with a lot of vines. I was like, maybe there was old, like maybe rose bushes or something like that that someone had deliberately planted further back.
almost like the sound of running water.
Or like light steps through the leaves. It's like a light rustle.
There's the smallest breeze. It sounds like on the treetops. Didn't get any feelings of, we shouldn't be out here. Pretty calm and honestly kind of peaceful. Just a lot of trees and bushes and bugs and sounds of nature. Could you snap a branch or knock on a tree, please?
Was somebody taking
Do you-
cover?
It's back this way.
I told you, it's like walking now.
Yeah.
It's getting louder.
Could you come toward this red light on the ground?
Were you hiding from the sheriff? Were you hung in the woods here? That's why you said throat? Did you need help? That's why you kept saying help.
If you need help, make that red light change colors.
Why are these woods so creepy to Ron?
Yeah, as for anything that we had when we were trying to communicate, there were a couple times that we heard something that maybe was like rustling in the woods, but that could have been something, or it could have just been simply animals. So.
And that, what sounded like a gunfire was interesting too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Towards the beginning. And it sounded like kind of like a rapid fire, very far off in the distance.
Yeah.
But the first thought was like, oh, could that be a car with like a shoddy muffler? But it,
The road was
it didn't
kind of
sound
far
like that. Yeah.
for that to have been the car, in my opinion, I feel like.
Absolutely. Do you hear that?
Yeah. Sounds like gunfire.
Sounds like a Gatling gun. Right?
Well, they say that you hear the cannons going off and guns.
I heard it too. But I guess it's too far to be a car.
Nothing foreboding about them. Didn't really get an eerie feeling this time around. Maybe it changes, but right now it didn't really feel like there was anything out there. So.
The land in Appomattox holds much mystery. Are the pleas for help voices of soldiers from a battle fought long ago, or from a more recent spirit that roams the grounds? Could the sounds that echo through the woods be from guns of the past, or is there a more rational explanation? One thing is for certain, the residents have experienced fear at the hands of a dark entity. A house cleansing was performed, and the team at Virginia Paranormal Investigations will continue to work on this case until the residents can sleep in peace.